What's up, YouTube? Today we have a pretty cool video, a little bit different from some of the videos we've done in the past. You could probably figure out from the title what this video is about, but just for a little bit of background, I have backpacked for the last 5-6 years now, and very early into backpacking, I decided and realized I wanted to do van life. It was always just something that was out of my reach, either mostly because of my own limitations. In my head, I was like, it's too expensive, it's too big of a project, it's this, it's that, whatever it may be. Not to get too deep, but I kind of gotten to a point in life where I realized how much of our youth and our health is fleeting and our time is fleeting. And I'm not saying go out and buy blow your money just doing all the fun stuff, but we do have to remember that life is supposed to be experienced and it's supposed to be lived. And so I created a budget, I created a goal, and I created a series of plans on how I was gonna do it. And in the middle of that, I found an absolute unicorn, which wasn't just a van to build off of, but it was a fully completed van. So without further ado, meet Navad. Navad is a 2009 Ford E350 XLT. It is a fully built out Class B camper van. It has a 5.4 V8 Vitron engine, and it does just great. It's got off-roading tires, big old thick tread off-roading tires. It's not a lifted chassis, but it's got some good clearance. For the inside, we have close to a king-size bed. We have 100 milliamp hours of battery bank, 200 watts of solar, 1,000 watt AC inverter, and of course DC power throughout. We have a bunch of puck lights for lighting inside. We have a 7-gallon fresh water tank with a 5-gallon wastewater or gray water, and we have a DC water pump. And then 2 max air fans for some level of ventilation, airflow, and pseudo climate control. So this is an incredibly completed start, if you want to call it that. This is a completed build. It looks great. It runs great. The engine has only 90,000 miles. It is an absolute gem of a vehicle. There's stuff I want to improve on with the vehicle, and I'm going to feel out really what I need. So some of the big things, first off, I got to take the 100 milliamp hours, push it to a 400 milliamp hour battery. I do sleep with a CPAP, so that can take up to sometimes 600 watts in a night. So 1,200 watt hours is not enough. Could be enough, but depending on how long I want to stay out, I want to just have a larger battery bank. I would like to increase the solar as well. The issue is I don't have a ton of roof space to do that. I've measured it out. I might be able to get 600 watts of solar up there, which will triple our current solar. But in doing so, I will need to upgrade the MPPT, the solar controller. It's rated for 20 amps right now. I'm going to need close to 50 amps. But in doing so, that means I can put in alternator power as well. Those are the big things I really want. For the winter season, I would like to probably put in a diesel heater. That way I just don't have to think about running a buddy heater if I have enough propane, if I need to worry about my carbon monoxide risk. And then depending on how hot I take the vehicle, I may want to down the line invest in putting a 12-volt DC air conditioner in the roof. It'll replace one of the max air fans. Those are pricey. The wiring will be difficult just because the inside's already finished, inside wall, so wiring that down might be challenging. And on top of anything else, it draws a good amount of electricity. So 400 milliamp hours or 4,800 watt hours is a bare minimum of what I need to start with for this vehicle. But I am ecstatic with this vehicle. Like I said, I wanted to do this for years, and it was always just a thing that was too expensive, it was too out of reach, it was too big of a project. And I just kind of got to a point where I recognized how fleeting our health and our time is. I'm 36 now, as of today actually, and I like to think I'm in fantastic shape. I really treat my body well, but even with that, the time, it does not matter. I've got 15 years in EMS and the last 5 to 6 in flight, and my job wears me down far more than I should allow. And I'm quickly realizing that, not to be cliche, but tomorrow is not granted. You sometimes do everything right, and tragedies happen. Not to get too dark, but if nothing else, we're on this earth to I don't know why. That's, I think, that question that we all ask sometimes. But I think what's incredibly important is that we don't forget that we are supposed to enjoy our time here, truly. That doesn't mean that we are supposed to dump our savings and our money. I'm not saying go be reckless, but we get so tied in with doing, at least I've been so tied in with making the right choices and trying to be responsible. And there is an aspect of you can go too far with that to the point that you're not enjoying your life. And so I just kind of had a moment where I was like, I'm gonna buy a van. I'll find a cheap van and I'll build it out. It'll be a fun project to do with my dad. It'll be a dynamic project. And I'm just gonna do it. I'm finally gonna pull the trigger. I'll work out the finances. I can make it make sense without it being too much of a financial burden. And it can be an absolutely cool project. And the whole point of this vehicle, that I can just get in it and go. I realized that I always thought I didn't like traveling. On Instagram, traveling is a picture in Aruba, in Sicily, whatever, and flying out somewhere. It's spending a lot of money on hotels and this and that. And for me, traveling, what I realize I really enjoy is the journey. And that sounds so cliche, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but truly, I enjoy road trips. I enjoy getting there in my own pacing. I love stopping in a hole-in-the-wall coffee shops. I love just stopping through ghost towns or small towns and meeting people. Like, that is what I love. I love the journey, and that is so, I know it sounds cliche, but it's 100% what speaks to me. And so I realized the best vessel for that would be getting a van like this, building it out, or having it already built out, which I didn't think was possible. This was such a find. And just being able to jump in it and spend a night in nature, or drive out to a friend's house who's a few states over, and then camp along the way, or just car camp along the way. Like, this gives me that freedom. And that gives me the ability to very safely kind of like do some solo camping. Not that I didn't already do that already, but it gives a little bit more comfort. And there's something about, I love backpacking, but something about backpacking is I never got good sleep. And so being able to have, my own bed that's familiar, a CPAP, and all that is gonna be really nice to be able to just no-brainer get in and go wherever I'm trying to do. Have my own bed, I have a CPAP, I can sleep, I can rest, I can get good restful sleep, and I can kind of just get out there without having to think too much. Truly, like, this is so cool. This is so exciting. I feel really privileged for all of these pieces to fall and align the way they did for this to be able to happen, truly. This is super cool. This is supposed to be just a quick short video to kind of introduce some content I'm gonna be putting out in the future, which is van life content now, because I have a van that does van life stuff. Pretty cool. So if I didn't have enough mix of genres and content styles that I put out already that confuses the YouTube algorithm as it is, now I got more. So if you like van life stuff, feel free to throw me a follow, because there's gonna be more of this, more trips and camping and adventures and stuff like that. So this is super cool, super cool. And thanks for hanging out today and let me rant about my van and life, and thanks for meeting Navad. So I'll see you on the next one.